Behind every fortune is a crime, they say. But for billionaire Richard Caldwell, his fortune wasn't just built on corruption. It was protected by silence, fear, and power. For decades, Caldwell appeared untouchable, until one young journalist dared to dig too deep and vanished without a trace. Richard Caldwell was once hailed as the Silicon Valley visionary. In the late 1990s, he built a software company that revolutionized cybersecurity. By the 2000s, he had become one of the richest men in America. His image, clean-cut, charitable, photographed at galas alongside presidents and celebrities. The reality, Caldwell bribed politicians to pass favorable tech laws, bought out regulators who tried to investigate him, and funneled money into offshore accounts. Former employees whispered about mysterious workplace accidents, data leaks that were covered up, and rivals who went bankrupt after Caldwell targeted them. Yet, every attempt to investigate him ended in silence. In 2010, a former financial analyst inside Caldwell's empire discovered evidence of illegal lobbying payments and tax evasion. Days before he was set to testify in court, he was found dead in what police called a car accident. Years later, another employee came forward with claims of human rights violations in Caldwell's overseas factories: child labor, unsafe working conditions, violent suppression of strikes. Weeks later, she disappeared during a vacation abroad. Her body was never recovered. Every time someone threatened Caldwell's empire, the same thing happened: silence. In 2016, 27-year-old investigative journalist Maya Torres began following the money trail. She was young, fearless, and determined to expose the hidden crimes of America's billionaires. Maya uncovered links between Caldwell's companies and shadowy shell corporations tied to organized crime. She confided in close friends that she had found something big, the kind of story that changes everything. But before she could publish, she disappeared. Her car was later found abandoned near a highway, her laptop wiped clean. Police suggested she had run away, but her family insisted otherwise. Rumors swirled that Caldwell's private security team had intervened. The story briefly hit the news, then vanished, just like Maya. Caldwell's lawyers went into overdrive. Newspapers pulled their stories. Politicians who had once called for investigations suddenly went quiet. Detectives assigned to Maya's case were mysteriously reassigned. Behind closed doors, Caldwell spent millions silencing witnesses, intimidating editors, and paying off anyone who could damage him. His empire grew stronger, while Maya's case faded into obscurity, just another missing person in the system. In 2022, the dam finally broke. A former Caldwell executive, stricken by guilt, leaked thousands of internal documents to the press. These files exposed bribery, payments to senators and governors in exchange for favorable legislation, corporate crimes, deliberate fraud to inflate stock prices and crush competitors, violent ties, offshore accounts linked to criminal organizations responsible for murders and disappearances, including evidence that matched the timeline of Maya Torres vanishing. The leak hit like a bomb. Protests erupted across major U.S. cities. Social media exploded with calls for justice. This time, the story couldn't be buried. For the first time, FBI agents raided Caldwell's offices and homes. His allies abandoned him. Former employees testified before Congress. Lawsuits piled up. Investors fled. Though Caldwell denied everything, the documents were undeniable. He was indicted on charges of racketeering, conspiracy, tax fraud, and obstruction of justice. As he was led out of his mansion in handcuffs, the cameras rolled. A billionaire who had once seemed untouchable was finally brought down. Richard Caldwell's story is a reminder of how power protects itself until the truth breaks through. For years, whistleblowers were silenced, and a young journalist vanished for daring to question him. But in the end, no empire of lies lasts forever. The higher they rise, the harder they fall, and the world is left to wonder, how many more secrets are buried in the shadows of the rich and powerful?